Money habits are not random. They are learned over time. They are copied from parents, family, and people around us. And once they are learned, they are very hard to change. When you look at how people handle money around the world, you start to see clear differences. Some cultures struggle to save anything at all. Other cultures save so much that it almost feels unrealistic. China is one of those cultures. For many decades, Chinese households have saved more money than almost any other group of people in the world. Not a little more, a lot more. In many Western countries, saving 5% of your income is already seen as good. Some people even struggle to save that. In China, saving 30 to 40% has been normal for a very long time. In certain periods, it was even higher. This did not happen by accident. It was not luck, and it was not because people earned massive salaries. It happened because of mindset. My name is Quinn, and welcome back to Quinn Invests US. On this channel, we talk about money in a calm and realistic way. No hype, no shortcuts, no fake promises. Just systems, habits, and ways of thinking that actually work in real life. Today, we are talking about what is often called the Chinese rule that builds wealth. It is not one single law written down somewhere. It is a way of thinking about money that shaped behavior for generations. And once you truly understand it, you start seeing money very differently. Let's begin with a number that surprises almost everyone. For many years, China's national savings rate was close to 45%. That means almost half of all income was not spent, it was saved. Think about that for a moment. Imagine earning money and choosing to not touch nearly half of it. Not because you have to, but because that is considered normal. At first, this sounds extreme, almost impossible. But it becomes easier to understand once you see how people are taught to think about money from a very young age. In Chinese culture, saving is not optional, it is expected. Spending everything you earn is seen as risky behavior. Saving first is seen as responsible behavior. From childhood, people learn a simple rule. If you do not control your money will control you. Spending first and hoping something is left later is considered dangerous. Saving first is the default. This already creates a huge difference. In many places, saving is something you do if possible. In this system, saving is something you do no matter what. One powerful idea behind this mindset is often called the 10-to-1 rule. The idea itself is very simple. For every 10 units of income, you try to live on 1. That means saving 9. Now, almost nobody follows this rule perfectly. That is not the goal. The goal is direction. When you aim extremely high and miss, you still end up far ahead. Someone who tries to save 90% and fails might still save 30 or 40%. That already changes everything. This rule completely changes how spending feels. Small expenses no longer feel small. They feel expensive when compared to the long-term goal. A daily coffee no longer feels harmless. It feels like something that delays freedom. A new phone no longer feels like a simple upgrade. It feels like a trade-off. This rule is not about suffering. It is about awareness. You become aware of where your money actually goes. And awareness is the first step toward control. But the real power of this system is not the percentage itself. It is the structure behind it. Chinese households often plan their money before it arrives, not after, before. At the start of each month, income is divided immediately. Money for housing, money for food, money for transport, money for education, money for savings. Savings are not what is left at the end. Savings come first. This is often called zero-based planning. Every unit of money gets a job before it can be spent. Nothing is accidental, nothing is random. In many Western systems, people spend emotionally and plan later. They buy first, they feel good in the moment, and then they hope things work out. In this system, planning comes first. Emotion is removed from money decisions. That alone prevents many mistakes. Debt is another major difference. In many cultures, debt is normal. Monthly payments feel harmless. Buy now, pay later feels easy. People focus on the monthly cost, not the total cost. In Chinese culture, debt creates stress. If something cannot be paid for with cash, the default answer is simple: wait. Waiting builds patience. Patience builds wealth. Delayed spending is not seen as weakness, it is seen as strength. It means you are in control, not your impulses. Needs and wants are also separated very clearly. Needs are basic: food, shelter, safety, simple transport. Wants are questioned carefully. Do I really need this now? Can this wait? Is this helping my future or hurting it? This does not mean life has no joy. It means enjoyment is intentional. Instead of spending without thinking, people choose when and why they spend. That makes enjoyment feel better, not worse. Education plays a special role in this mindset. Money spent on education is not seen as a cost. It is seen as an investment. Families are willing to sacrifice comfort today for income tomorrow. They understand that education can increase earning power for decades. This way of thinking compounds across generations. Parents save so children can learn. Children earn more and save again. The cycle continues. Another important reason savings stayed so high is limited safety nets. Healthcare, retirement, and emergencies are often handled privately. There is less expectation that someone else will fix things later. When people know no one will rescue them, saving becomes survival, not a choice. This creates urgency. Social pressure also plays a role. In many places, spending signals success. Nice cars, luxury items, expensive lifestyles. In Chinese culture, discipline signals success. Being prepared, being stable, being secure, that earns respect. Money is also discussed openly within families. Goals are shared, numbers are known. Saving becomes a team effort, not a secret struggle. This removes shame. It removes confusion. It creates clarity. Over time, this mindset changes behavior. Spending slows down. Saving feels rewarding. Progress becomes visible. People feel calm instead of stressed. The biggest lesson here is not to copy everything exactly. It is to copy what works. Pay yourself first. Plan before you spend. Delay pleasure. Avoid unnecessary debt. Respect savings. You do not need to save 50% to change your life. Even saving 10 or 15% with this mindset creates momentum. It creates control. It creates confidence. Wealth is not built by income alone. It is built by behavior. And behavior can be learned. That is the real rule. And that is why it works. Let's slow down for a moment, because this way of thinking about money feels very different from what most people are used to. And when something feels different, the brain often resists it. Many people hear about saving large amounts of money and immediately think, that's not realistic for me. I can't do that. My life is different. That reaction is normal. But this mindset was never meant to be copied perfectly. It was meant to change your direction. You are not supposed to save 90% overnight. You are supposed to start questioning every decision. That alone changes everything. Think about how most spending happens. It is fast, it is emotional, it is automatic. You see something, you feel something, you buy it. Very little thinking happens in between. This system slows that process down. It adds a pause, and in that pause, power appears. When you pause, you start asking better questions. Do I need this now? Will this still matter next month? Is this helping me move forward or holding me in place? Most purchases do not survive those questions, and that is a good thing. Another important part of this mindset is time. Chinese saving culture thinks in decades, not months. Many financial systems focus on short-term comfort. This system focuses on long-term calm. Instead of asking, can I afford this right now? The question becomes, what does this cost me later? That single shift changes priorities. A small purchase today might delay freedom by months. A big purchase might delay it by years. Once you see money like that, spending feels different. Not worse, just more intentional. This is also why this mindset reduces stress. When your money is planned, there are fewer surprises. When there are fewer surprises, anxiety drops. You stop checking your bank account constantly. You stop worrying about small problems. You know you are prepared. Preparation creates peace. Another thing people underestimate is how identity changes. In spending-focused cultures, identity comes from what you buy, what you wear, what you drive, what you show. In saving-focused cultures, identity comes from discipline. Being the person who plans, the person who prepares, the person who stays calm. That identity is powerful. It does not depend on income. It depends on behavior. This is why even people with average incomes can build strong financial positions over time. They are not chasing status. They are building stability, and stability compounds. Let's also talk about how this mindset affects families. When money is discussed openly, children learn early. They see saving as normal, not restrictive. They understand trade-offs. They learn patience. This creates adults who are less stressed and more intentional. Money stops being a taboo topic. It becomes a practical skill. That is a huge advantage. Now think about how this applies to your own life. You do not need to change everything at once. You can start small. You can start by tracking every dollar for 1 month, just observing. Then you can start planning before spending, even loosely. Then you can raise your savings slowly. 5%, 10%, more over time. The exact number is less important than the habit. Habits create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. And confidence makes the process easier. One more important point. This mindset also protects you during hard times. When income drops, savers suffer less. When emergencies happen, savers panic less because they planned for uncertainty. Most financial stress does not come from lack of money, it comes from lack of preparation. This system fixes that. And finally, understand this. This is not about becoming rich fast. It is about becoming unstoppable slowly. Slow progress that continues beats fast progress that stops. That is the hidden power of this rule. You build quietly, you improve steadily, and one day you realize something important. Money no longer controls you. You control it, and that is real wealth.